Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Jannick Malling, co-founder and CEO of Public.com, an investing platform that allows everyone to invest in stocks, ETFs, crypto, treasuries, and alternative assets like fine art and collectibles, all in one place. Jannick, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Hi, Jill. It's good to be here.
You got it. And last week, public members will have access to Treasury accounts. It was announced. What is the significance of being able to access them?
We think the significance is huge. I mean, for decades, fixed income products haven't really been on the radar for retail investors as much because they've effectively yielded very little, but all that's changed in the last 12 months quite dramatically. And so they're now much more attractive as an asset class, but they can still be really hard to access or for some even understand it. So we've built a solution that lets people invest in US T-bills, automatically sort of rolls them over at the end of the maturity of those T-bills, and even lets them, sell partially or fully before maturity if they want access to their cash in a more immediate way. And so you can kind of think of it as the ease with which we've all been able to invest in things like stocks and crypto over the past couple of years now extends to treasuries as well.
And with fixed income being out of favor for several years, why do you think customers are turning to treasury accounts?
Well, as we're speaking, the yield on the 6-month T-bill is pushing 4.3%. So that's obviously a lot higher than the national average on the on high yield savings accounts, which I believe is around 4%. And so there's just some very clear advantages in terms of the top line yield that you get. But even in terms of sort of like on a post-tax basis, it's actually also more advantageous for some folks because the income from treasuries, from T-bills are exempt from things like state tax, things like local tax. And so there's a number of benefits, we think, when it comes to the treasuries product that makes it really competitive when you sort of stack it up against high yield savings accounts. And at least that's what our customers are telling us. And that's why we decided last week to roll it out to our entire member base.
So Jannick, explain to the audience how it works. Does it work like a bank savings account? What's different about it?
Right. So it has the ease of a savings account, meaning it's just a few taps of the app and then you move money into an account and that cash is automatically invested in US T-bills and it automatically is rolled over at maturity. So you keep getting the prevailing kind of rate in the market. And like I said, there's a number of advantages from that. Even today, as we've seen Jerome Powell talking about how there might be more rate hikes coming in the Senate hearing, the markets are immediately kind of pricing that in the T-bill markets, so you don't necessarily have to wait for your bank to adjust the rate that you have on a savings account, which means you can take advantage of it much quicker. And so again, fixed income products have historically been a little bit hard for retail investors to, I think, wrap their heads around and add to their portfolio. And so we've built something that makes it feel a little bit more like a savings account without it being a savings account necessarily, but it has the same sort of ease of use. A few taps on the app, you invest money into the treasuries account, as we call it, and then that's automatically invested at the prevailing T-bill rate, which is very high at the moment.
And to your point, it's always been easier to trade stocks and ETFs in and out and a little bit more complex for retail investors to get in and out of fixed income products like treasuries. How are you able to do that on Public.com?
So, I mean, to your point, take a step back, the way we actually think about it, over the last couple of years, tens of millions of retail investors have joined the markets and they started investing in things like stocks or crypto, but that's not where the investing journey has to end, right? And so to your point, we rolled out alternative assets last year. This year, we've been focused more on fixed income, starting with these US T-bills. And so it's really us working with a few downstream partners to enable that as an asset class. So it sits right next to where you have your stocks, your crypto, and your alternative assets as well. So you can sort of offer all those asset classes in one portfolio, in one seamless experience.
And finally, Jannick, is this considered a risk-free investment?
It is considered by many to be the most risk-free investment that exists in the market. Because unlike other bonds, T-bills are backed by the full faith and credit of the US government. As you know, in theory, no investment is completely kind of risk-free, but this is certainly considered by many to be the most kind of risk-free for those reasons. And that's part of what makes it really attractive on a risk-adjusted basis.
All right, Jannick, we appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.